Time magazine decided to do a cover story on something known as attachment parenting. Now, the reason why this is making headlines is because Time magazine published the article with a pretty questionable cover. People are a little uncomfortable with it. I myself am a little uncomfortable with it. So I want to do a TYT Supreme Court on this, okay? I want to get, your thoughts on it. I want to see whether or not we find Time magazine guilty for publishing an inappropriate cover. All right, so first, let's look at the cover. All right, so I can't believe that this actually happened. Like, they actually printed this, and this is the cover of Time magazine. So as you guys can read, it has to do with attachment parenting. And I'm kind of uncomfortable with the cover and what it says underneath it about attachment parenting, because it basically insinuates that attachment parenting makes women go insane, and these women are, I don't know. It paints them in a very negative picture. And I don't like that, because I think that there are some valuable components of attachment parenting. And for those of you who don't know what it is, it's basically this idea that you should keep your child as close to you as possible at all times while the child is going through infancy and grows into a toddler. And the whole point is to teach that child emotion and physical attachment. And it sounds like a really interesting idea, right? And I don't know if it's necessarily the parenting strategy that I would take on. I'm not a parent, I'm not an expert at this, so I'm not even gonna comment on that, right? But I feel like with that cover, they've already made their decision for the reader that attachment parenting is ridiculous, and any mother who considers it is a nut job.
But apparently the woman on the cover doesn't think so, because she was, I mean, that's the very first thing I thought when I looked at this picture was, who is that and why was she willing to do this?
She's a 26-year-old mother, and the boy is 3 years old.
How much did they pay her?
I don't know. I actually automatically assumed that she was like some model and they photoshopped a child, suckling at her teat. but no, it turns out that she's
real
really
mom, and that's her real kid.
Yeah.
Can you imagine when that kid is in high school and his friends dig up this magazine?
How embarrassing is that?
Oh my God.
Well, hopefully he doesn't go to school with Mitt Romney's son.
I know.
Now, okay, so I find Time magazine guilty, because I feel like they've made the decision for the reader already when it comes to attachment parenting. And look, I'm gonna keep it real. That cover makes me uncomfortable. I'm totally in favor of allowing women to breastfeed in public, but that's infants, not 3-year-olds, right? So that's my take on it. Cara, what are your thoughts?
I have to say, right now, at least, I'm a little on the fence, because working in journalism, you know that sometimes you do things with headlines to get people to read the article. And I haven't read the article, I have to admit. So I'm really just basing my decision on this cover shot and on the subhead next to it. But just, if I'm gonna use some truthiness here and speak with my gut instead of my brain, gross.
Yeah,
right?
It just makes you uncomfortable.
The kid seems a bit old to be, he's like on a step ladder. He can almost reach it.
Yeah, and then, all right, I gotta go to the guys. I want to get a male perspective on this.
The picture itself, that's awesome. That's great. It's gonna as
you
Cara,
like the picture?
Yeah, it draws you to read the article, which is the whole point, right? And who cares? I mean, we talked before about what are we so afraid of nipples for, and the reason we're so about nipples is because we're so afraid of them. We think children's heads are going to explode if there's a nipple that's flashed,
No, just to clarify.
And it's not even flashed.
The nipple doesn't make me uncomfortable. I see nipples all day long. I mean, I tend to have nipples. But what makes me uncomfortable, just like the fact that it's a 3-year-old boy, like it's just a weird visual to me. I don't know.
I think the biggest problem for me, honestly, with this cover has less to do with different attachment styles, different parenting styles, what the article actually says, or even the shock value of using this cover to get people to read the article. I think that's it's smart. It's good marketing. I think the real issue is that woman putting her 3-year-old child on the cover. I don't know, something about that it makes me wonder, like when you see little kids in, toddlers and tiaras and all these, it's like, who are these parents and why are they okay?
Oh my God, that little boy is gonna get bullied
I
so
know.
badly.